Welcome to today's commentary and live coverage of the ICF Freestyle Kayak World Championships. We have an exciting day ahead of us. And the first event that we have starting very soon is the super final for the Masters event. And this is the first time that a Masters event has ever been held. And we are jumping straight into it with our first paddler in the men's category. And this is Ian Whitcomb from the United Kingdom dropping into our feature here. And I'm Sam Ward, and we're joined today by Matt Hamilton from Canada, and we are open today with a fantastic loop starting straight off with some big air. I'm excited to see what our Masters can do.
That's right, Sam. This Masters is debuting here at this Worlds. There's been 3 events for them to qualify for this super final as Ian flushes out there. I think he was trying for a bit of a space Godzilla. Headed downstream, the crowd's cheering him on to get him back up to the top of the eddy. Another beautiful day here in Nottingham, England. The traditional British weather has not been here much at all this week. So nice and dry as Ian makes his way up to the top. And that'll be it for his score. Looks like preliminary score of 123.33 on the board for Ian. These are the Masters. There's 3 age categories for these guys. There's the 60 plus, there's a 50 to 59, and a 40 to 49 class. We've got 2 athletes from each of those classes here in our Masters Super Final.
It's been really exciting. It's great to see Ian paddling in the World's Masters Final, because I have seen Ian paddling on this course probably for over 20 years now. I started kayaking at university, and we used to nip in the car, 4 of us in the most functional vehicle we could find, and drive down from my university to here. And every Wednesday evening, Ian used to be here, and so he's been a local at Nottingham whitewater course for at least 20 years. So, you know, having everyone on his doorstep and at the home stage, that must be a hell of an experience for him. And I'm happy that he, you know, it's great that we can acknowledge Ian's local expertise. Here we go with our second competitor, Helmut Wolf from Germany. He has been really integral to the German team for many years as well. He's done a lot. He's competed regularly, but he's also supported all sorts of other paddlers. Dropping in for an entry, McNasty.
There he is. Sorry, Sam, cut you off there for a second. His helmet is trying for a loop. Sets up, trying to get things going again here. Flipping over, rolling up, still retaining the feature as he's nice and high on the foam pile. Let's see, he's going to try and get something going here. Looks like he's looking for that McNasty as he spins into a back blast. Sets up. Oh, just a little bit of a bubble on the end there, Sam. He's still got 12 seconds left. What do you think?
I think he can just about get in there if he's quick. He's got 7.6, so he can drop in. He's an experienced competitor. He knows he's got to get that move initiated before the buzzer, which he does, going for a left space Godzilla. And Helmut, very experienced competitor. He's got a lot of moves in the bag. I've seen him paddling in a few different categories. And you know what? I think this is... I'm really excited about this new development of having this Masters category. It is a place in a lot of sports. And also the chance for these paddlers that people come and go quite a bit on the competitive scene. And you see some people that are there year after year for 20, 30 years. And you know, to celebrate some of that is a wonderful thing, in my opinion. And Helmut has, part of the beautiful thing about our sport is examples like Helmut that have given back much more than they take from the sport. So fantastic to see him here representing his nation. And next up is Clay Wrights.
Who's that guy? I don't know him. Do you?
My wife, when she was 13, had a picture of Clay Wright boofing a waterfall on her wall for like 10 years, for 5 years, until she finally met him when she was competing at World Championship herself. Yeah. And that was like stars in her eyes. And Clay is an absolute legend of the sport.
That's right, Clay Wright. I can remember him years and years ago driving around in a cow-painted motorhome doing the tour around the U.S. when there used to be a big freestyle circuit in the U.S. Absolutely amazing athlete. Let us know what he's got for us, Sam.
Yeah, he's still got the skills. That was a great opening entry move, and he is still competing in the main men's category. Big aerial clean loop, keeping the paddle out of the water to try and get those clean bonuses. Going for a Space Godzilla. Space Godzilla is a 90-degree twist in the air, needs to land within 20 degrees of straight. Clay knows this. He's a pro. He's expert, and he's cartwheeling out of that left Space Godzilla. Does he retain the feature? Get yourself back in that feature. Still got it. Clay Wrights, recently crowned at least three times World Squirt Championships. And going for a McNasty with 3 seconds left. Can he initiate his switch McNasty or spin McNasty? Going for a McNasty the other way. That is a great ride. Claim that, Clay Wright. You deserve it. Fantastic stuff. Scores on the board.
Absolutely amazing ride from these masters here. Clay Wright definitely showing that you can do this sport right till later in life. Clay currently in his mid-50s, but he's made a living at this entire life, paddling all over the world. Next on deck, we've got the fellow American, multi-time world champion, Eric Jackson.
Eric Jackson, my goodness, what to say about Eric Jackson. What a legacy. He's left the sport. He's invented moves. He's been at the forefront of the sport for decades. Jackson Kayak holds his name. And he also has a fairly strong legacy in his children as well. You know, what a...
Yeah, the whole family are world champions. They all do it. This is what they do for a living. They travel all over the world paddling. Eric just starting a new kayak company called Apex Kayaks. Looking forward to see how that venture goes for him. Always smiling, always helping out. He's been over here helping us out in the announcing area, announcing to the arena here in Nottingham, as Eric's getting ready to drop in for his first ride here in our Masters Super Final.
Here he goes. Put on a show for us, Eric. Do what you love to do. There is nothing he likes to do more. That was a really innovative and interesting entry he goes for there. And that's from hailing back from a little while ago when boats were a bit more slicey. But he's got all of the modern moves too. Going for a big McNasty, spin McNasty style, retaining the feature. And going around, looks like he's looking for a switch McNasty. Looks like he's getting that too. And the scores are reflecting it too. Now dropping in for a big loop, whipping it over with great power. That Apex boat of his. And he's going for the Space Godzilla, hopefully getting the air on it. It is mandatory to get an air. He's looking for a right Space Godzilla as well, probably not getting the rotation on that. But going for a Phonics Monkey, one of the bigger tricks on the board. He's looking up at the board, very experienced competitor. He's looking up at his scores, wondering how long he has left, and claiming it with his classic peace sign at the end of his ride. I've seen him claim a few world championship titles, as have you, Matt, with that signature celebration.
Absolutely. It's not even after a ride at the World Championships. You paddle by him on the river, or he pulls up on the river. If you're ever out there, he's got that same thing. Replay here. Nice big Space Godzilla. Going for the Phonics Monkey there, pulling it around. He might not have, just out of the screen there, you couldn't see his angle. His bow might not have been quite within that 20 degrees of upstream that they need to get to score the moves here. As you see Eric smiling, getting his boat up and out of the water. That new Apex rebound prototype that he's trying out here at the World Championships. He says that he's liking it, it's going well, and he's making it look pretty good.
He is indeed, yeah. It looks like an interesting boat. I definitely want to get myself into that. And the next paddler is Andrea Tosati from Italy, and it's really fantastic to have Italy represented here. We haven't had many competitors from Italy over the years. I have been to Italy and kayaked. They have fantastic rivers there, beautiful scenery, amazing creeking, and they do have some really world-class kayakers. So I always say that I've always said that there's a bit of a space on the freestyle scene for them, and happy to see Andrea representing in the regular men's category and in the Masters, and looking forward to seeing what he can do in the feature.
All right, he's getting ready to go here as he drops in from above. Looking maybe for an entry move, or he's just going to straight drop into that nice retentive surfer's right spot. The athletes seem to favor that spot to get things going. Ooh, moving a bit over to the left, which is a bit flushier, and getting a little quickly back up with 30 seconds left on the clock. These guys are getting 2 45-second rides here in the final. As he drops in, nice big loop. Nice and straight and vertical, staying in the feature. This is the twin wave feature designed by one of our fellow announcers, John Ward, as we get a nice McNasty. Sets up. Now looking for a loop or a Space Godzilla there, bubbling out of the hole, rolling up just downstream. Andre having a great ride.
Yeah, I thought that was a solid ride, and I'm sad to see a 0 flashing on that screen. Hopefully that will get some adjustment. But Andrea putting on a show for us, and sometimes some things are a few degrees off angle, and if you flush, but to me he's looking like a solid McNasty, so I'm not quite sure, but we're not the judges, and we have a different angle from the judges, so that is Andrea from Italy. There we go. I'm happy to see that reflected in the, and to me that's a well-deserved 300 points that are clocking up on the board. So we have got a super final, and we should actually do a bit of explaining what this is all about. So there is 2 rides for each of these competitors. Their best ride will count, and this is across the categories of masters. So we will see the full age range from 40 right up to our highest age category, which is 60 plus, and they are coming together for a super final, and we are going to crown the masters based off of this. There is 2 other events that are on different features around the whitewater course here in Nottingham. Flowing straight after this will be the Women's Masters Super Final. And we are just about to see Thomas Dimke from Germany dropping in to the category, opting to come from the eddy here. Do you want to take us through this ride, Matt?
All right. Sam, here he goes, dropping in from the river left eddy and going over into that surfer's right pocket. Nice and retentive, nice big loop. Holding his paddle up there, maybe trying to get a clean bonus on it as he goes for a Space Godzilla to the right, Space Godzilla to the left, right back to back. Getting a bit of a flush. As you can see, the surfer's left side of the feature isn't quite as retentive. Some people are able to pull it around and retain the feature there, but we have seen a number of flushes there over the event as he sets back up quickly into the surfer's right spot, into some cartwheels. Going old school, linking them into a split wheel and a cartwheel in the other direction. Racking up points, using most of his time there. An unfortunate flush just in the middle, but great ride from Thomas.
Yeah, that was a great ride. And now athletes have a strategic sort of balance to take. Do you go quickly and try and get as many rides, many moves in your 45 seconds as possible, or do you take the time to make sure you're in exactly the right spot? If you want to hit the move every time, the best thing to do is take your time, plug in exactly the right spot, but that takes a lot longer. You get a lot less moves in, so you're balancing. If he's going for his glory ride, this is the super final of the World Championships after all, and he was going for his big ride, and boy was he doing it quick at the beginning of that ride. He got a great loop, going for his right, Space Godzilla, getting that, it looks like, from the score, and then just flushed on his second, and all of those 3 were probably within like a 7-second window. So had he nailed that, that would have opened up an enormous potential for the remainder of the score. He did have a flush, but because he got all of those tricks in, he still had a very solid score, slotting him into the podium position at this stage of the super final. This man, Ian, might be trying to upseat that. Like I said previously, a Nottingham local of over 20 years. Home crowd giving him some big cheers here and dropping in for his ride.
Right away, going for a Space Godzilla to the right. Nice big spray of water coming off his boat, really snapping it around. As Sam said earlier, this guy is his home spot. Going for a huge loop, holding his paddle up maybe to clean it. Fortunately, flushing off. But that was a massive loop. We're seeing some of those out of the younger, very, let's say, slighter paddlers.
Tactful use of words, but that was fantastic. You know, he might not have got rewarded on the score sheet because he did flush, but that is seared in my mind how high he was flying over that feature there, and that's something to be proud of. I hope someone got a picture of that. In our 60-plus category, Ian Whitcomb from the United Kingdom. He is representing the United Kingdom and proud about that, I'm sure. And the crowd, there's a lot of people giving him a cheer here. Many people have seen him over the years in this course.
Yeah, Sam, what did we see there from him? We saw that massive loop. We saw some cartwheels. Really good ride. The score is racking up there, which seeing that score up to 190 there, I'm thinking they definitely didn't score that massive loop right there. That would have been with the bonuses, probably over 100 points, but obviously a great ride and out here having a lot of fun.
There it is on the replay, just flying above the feature. Yeah,
he did finish it in the feature, but flushed afterwards. Depends on the judges and what they put as a flush line or a flush. I heard earlier for this event that anytime that you have to use one of the eddies to get back in, they were considering it a flush. They didn't actually have a flush line on the feature as they do on some features. Looks like 196.67 will be Ian's second ride score. Next up, we have Almut Wolf of Germany.
What an honor to represent their countries, and for some like Eric and Claire, this is old hand, and also for Helmut here, he's not new to competition. Let's see what he can do on his second ride. Going for a cross bow McNasty at that's an entry move, but unfortunately flushing through, he took a lot of downstream momentum into that foam pile, and he blew through the white water, which is there to sort of hold you in the feature. But if you ask too much of it, it can just let you pass right through. But going for the big move there, the McNasty, he's really looking for that sort of those bigger scoring tricks to get him right up there into the higher podium positions. He is sitting in third place as it is now. Unfortunately, flushing off the wave. He has 8 seconds left. I think that is going to be his ride, but there is nothing to do but sprint as best you can, and there he knows it's not happening. But thanks very much, Helmut Wolf from Germany, for competing, and the crowd is giving him some just dues and applause.
Yeah, it's amazing to see these masters. These guys are over 60 years old, these top two masters here in our super finals. We've got 3 different men's categories, a 40 to 49, a 50 to 59, and a 60 plus. We just saw our 2 60 plus athletes go. Pretty cool to see that. Currently moving on to our 50 to 59 category here in the men's masters. We've got Clay Wright of the United States. Doesn't really need much of an introduction. He's been around the sport of whitewater for almost forever. He's got multiple boat designs out there, and here he goes, Sam.
Wing over to start, great solid score. You know, all 3 of the judges would have given him that, I'm sure. And there is a Space Godzilla flowing into cartwheel. That was a textbook demonstration of what a Space Godzilla can be. And again, a big aerial loop. I would say all 3 of those moves would have been rewarded with scores, and unfortunately the left Space Godzilla, it is a really tricky move to do in this feature. The water naturally carries you that way, which doesn't help you when you're trying to rotate that way as well, but many of the paddlers, including Clay, have been sort of forcing it anyway and getting the points, because you can score moves both ways. Looking for his McNasty, spinning into it, doesn't quite get the nose underneath him, going for his switch McNasty instead. That was much better example. Can he retain the feature? I think he can. Give it some, just flushing off the back there with Clay. Still a solid opening to that ride. Didn't quite back it up with his big moves at the end, but that is probably not going to be his top ride. He's got a solid ride in the bank here. I'm excited to see what this next paddler can do to pip him. What do you think, Matt?
Well, 710 points might be a tall order here. A couple of rides like that might have qualified you quite far on the men's rounds here.
But discount EJ at your peril. He is such an experienced competitor. He has all the moves. He invented a few of them on the score sheet, and he's got the experience of being in goodness knows how many World Championship finals as well. So he is ready to put on a show.
All right, here he goes. As we take EJ into the hole, he drops in right away. Nice entry wing over loop, kind of linking it into cartwheels there as he spins it around, maybe trying to get a link bonus on there, getting a few cartwheels on the board, going into a McNasty. Nice and vertical with the finish on that McNasty. He's going to go for it the other way, getting it up a little higher in the air, maybe getting a little bit of air bonuses on there as he goes for a Phonics monkey. Oh, he wants to knock Clay off the podium here.
He definitely does. That was a huge, maybe going for a Space Godzilla there. 640 points. He needs one more trick to unseat Clay from the top spot, and he's looking for his lunar left on the buzzer. One more trick if you can, EJ. The scores are toting up, and EJ might just be coming back to claim another world title. He's claiming it. We'll see what the final scores here, but right now it's looking pretty good, and that was a solid ride, Matt.
Yeah, here in the super final, I'm seeing 940 points up there on the scoreboard. That's a preliminary score. It may bump up a little bit more. Let's see, EJ might be breaking 1,000 points here. You never know, which is pretty amazing to see in a Masters class, but these guys are not shy to competition. They've been doing it forever.
I really like that link at the opening of that ride, and I actually think that that was opportunistic. Sometimes you land in a certain way, and the tail of an entry wing over can sort of catch, and it sort of brings you naturally into a cartwheel. It's almost easier to flow where the boat wants to go, and he went with it, and he knew right there and then. He carried on a couple of ends to make sure he got that link, and that straight away got his ride off to a good start with an entry move, a link, and he's only 2 seconds on the board. Then he's got his big moves in there as well. 960 is getting pretty, it's still going up, it's getting close to that 1,000 point mark. It doesn't matter that much, the difference between 917 and 1,000, but it is very satisfying to get into those quadruple digits. It is flashing still. We are waiting for that final score, but this may be enough to secure top spot, and as soon as that goes green, that is a top spot, rank number 1 for Eric Jackson in this super final.
All right, beautiful rides by EJ there. Looks like he's moving to the top of the podium. We still have a couple more riders to go here. We got Andrea Tosati of Italy, our only Italian paddler out there. And then Thomas Dimke of Germany still to come here in our Masters Super Final. These Masters have been competing in multiple events throughout the week to qualify here to compete on the main feature of Twin Waves in the middle of the home Pierpont Country Park, National Whitewater Center here in Nottingham, England. It's a beautiful facility. What do you know about this place, Sam?
Well, I mentioned already that I'd been coming here for 20 years as part of my canoe club when I was just learning to kayak, and it is a great facility and really the hub, the beating heart of the freestyle kayaking community in the UK. But more importantly, right now we have Andrea Tosati looking to claim his spot on the podium, opening very strongly with an aerial loop, very straight. And you can see all 3 judges have ordered that. Very simple, making it very easy for the judges with that loop. Going for a spin McNasty, going to now switch it up, getting that McNasty the other way. That one, a second one especially, was really bomber and solid, aerial and straight. So he will be looking now to back the rest of this 20 seconds will be spent scoring as many moves as possible. And he certainly could be claiming his spot on the podium here if he can carry this on. There is nothing to stop him getting really high up on this podium. Going for his McNasty again the other way. Now that is a great ride from Andrea, and he will definitely be improving on his first ride score of 213 points. Let's have a shout out, I think, for everyone in Italy who might be watching from here and watching their competitor competing at the World Championships for the first time in at least a few rounds of the ICF Freestyle Kayak World Championships.
Yeah, amazing crowd here checking things out. One of the bigger crowds we've seen all week. It is finals day here at the World Championships. Right now we're working on our Masters finals, men's K1. We've got 3 different age categories. Then we're going to move on to our women's Masters Super Final in just a few minutes. It should be getting started at about 12:30, so we're going to be rolling right into that as we have one more men's paddler ready to go. Looks like
we have a confirmed score for Andreas of 486 points, so securing provisional bronze medal in this super final. However, we do have one paddler left, and that paddler was, until about 20 seconds ago, sitting in that bronze medal position. So Thomas definitely wants to unseat him and mix that podium back up. And this is his moment. World Championship final in this this Masters super final. What has Thomas got for us?
All right, Thomas dropping into the feature right away into the entry wing over, into a cartwheel. Nice, retaining the feature, going for a cartwheel in the other direction. He wants to get back onto the podium where he was in third place just a few moments ago. He sets up, spins around, drops in for a Space Godzilla to the right, or maybe an air wheel. There he goes, going for a big loop, bringing it over nicely. Adding maybe a little bit of an air bonus to that one. And he's going to go for a Space Godzilla to the left. That is 10 seconds left on the clock as he brings it around, sets up again, back it in, drops in, going for the Space Godzilla to the right, and that was a solid ride for Thomas of Germany.
That was exciting, Matt. I saw some great executions of some of those tricks, particularly those Space Godzillas look fantastic, and he's celebrating. That's what it's all about. What an experience to be in a Worlds final with the eyes of the world watching on through the live stream, hundreds of people lining the banks here. You don't quite catch that on the live stream, but the atmosphere here is electric, and it will be ramping up as the day goes on. But right now, all eyes on that provisional flashing score. He needs more points to get on that podium, but I think he will be happy already just to have been a part of this. Thomas Dimke from Germany, big smiles, and you know what a spectacle. And he's urging those points up. It has moved up a little bit. It needs to go up another 100 points to unseat the bronze position. What do you think about this final overall, Matt? As we wait for this final score,
it's been pretty exciting to see these Masters guys. Is that final score of 383 points? 3-3 comes in, improving his first ride of 306.67, but not enough to get him up onto that podium. But he's out here having a lot of fun in this Masters category here at the Worlds. First time that we've had a Masters category, so it's a demonstration sport here at the Worlds, or an exhibition sport. Hopefully we'll be able to maybe bring that category in. I like the sounds of it. I'd like to keep competing here as I get up. I would be in the 40 to 49 category. I believe, Sam, you'd be there right there with me. So it'd be pretty fun to be there.
I'm just going to interject there because you're about the seventh person to ask me if I'm competing in the Masters category. So I'm giving off the aura of being a master, apparently, or the age or the wrinkles, perhaps. But I'm still under the age. I'm currently 38, so I'm looking forward in a few years' time. So I'll take that as a. I'll force a compliment out of that insult, Matt, and I will take the masterful arm rather than the aged, sort of decrepit aspect. And but no, I'm just jesting with you. Yeah, here I am, and I would love to be a part of it.
Your level of maturity that's
yes,
we
I'll
see
take that
out here. I've known you long enough to think that you're closer to my age.
I am close to your age, but not quite there. So yeah, here we are, and if they keep this going, and I very much hope this becomes a strong legacy of this event, that I would be excited to be a part of it as well. You know, what a spectacle, and I think anyone who has not come and go but stuck with it has learned to love the freestyle community and the sport, and ends up naturally, every single one of these paddlers has given back tremendous amounts to their community. They're happy to be on the water. The reason they're still here after 30 years is not because of the competition itself, but because of the love for the sport and the love for the competitors. But I think that is a great intersection to transition us on to our upcoming next Masters final. What have we got coming up, Matt?
We've got the women's Masters category. We've got Jessie Stone, Andrea Hakka, Ekaterina Daychak, Mumu Tani. Claire O'Hara, unfortunately, is a scratch. She's unable to come and compete today. And of course, our former world champion from 2019, Hitomi Takaku.
Yeah, some great paddlers in this heat, and looking forward to this. And once again, a great sort of demonstration of the people who've been giving back to the sport. First up is Jessie Stone, spent 20 years in Uganda. She came there as a kayaker originally, and then was so kind of moved by everything and life out there that she set up a health clinic. She is a doctor. She runs malaria outreach, and she has been giving back between Uganda and New York, taking people that don't normally have access to the outdoors and introducing them to kayaking. Every year she does this program in New York as well. What an absolute legend of the sport. She has been competing on the international stage for 20 plus years. I don't want to put a number on that, but as long as I've known the sport, I've known Jessie to be right there and amongst it. And you know, absolute golden human being and a pleasure to be around. You're going to take us through the opening of this opening ride of this Masters final, Matt.
There we are, debuting the Masters here this year as Jessie Stone drops in. The American always has a big smile on her face, happy to see everyone. Nice big loop. As she sets back up on the surfer's right side, dropping down in, trying to get set up. And there it is. There's the setup. She's going for Space Godzilla to the right. And she's going to reset up, spins around. Oh, getting a bit of a bubble there, flushing off. She's right into the eddy. Still has 17 seconds left on her clock. She knows she's got lots of time to get a few more moves here. She has the 10-second buzzer. She goes to try and initiate a cartwheel end there. Going for a cartwheel to the right, cleaning it up, holding her paddle nice and high to sell that clean to the judges.
Yeah, solid ride from Jessie. Sometimes it feels like in these features that they are just your friend and doing what you want to do, and sometimes you're trying to set up and the surges and the bubbles and the bounces and the power of the water is fighting you. She was fighting it a little bit to get in the position she wanted to be in. It is much easier to deliver a trick when you're set up in the perfect spot, and sometimes you're using this shoulder, and sometimes it lets you up and easily onto the shoulder, and sometimes, and it almost, you know, she got a flush out of that shoulder when she was trying to spin set up. And then at other time it was holding her in the pocket, and that's just part of the game of the playing with this dynamic whitewater. It is an essential part of our sport. 1 square meter of water weighs 1 ton, and so you can imagine every second there is at least 18 to 20 tons of water passing through that feature, and that is a pretty wild thing to consider. And dropping in from the side, we have our next competitor. So different competitors will choose different eddies. Depending on what their opening move might be, it will set them up nicely for their first move.
All right, Andrea Hakka on the wave right away, drop in, looking for a loop. Oh, getting a bit of a bubble off the wave. Having a little struggle to roll up there. There she is. Hopefully she can catch the eddy here and make her way back up. Still has over 30 seconds on the clock. These Masters have been tirelessly competing in events all week. They've got to be starting to get a little bit exhausted by the time they get here to our super final as she makes her way, Andrea makes her way back up onto the feature. This twin wave feature designed by local boy John Best for this world specifically. Hopefully the feature stays here because everybody's really been enjoying paddling in the feature. Oh, unfortunately the buzzer. Sam, that was a great ride from our Masters. Why don't you let us know a little bit about this twin wave feature? You got to compete in here earlier this week. What do you think of it?
Yeah, I mean, so there is, when someone who hasn't been studying this sort of thing for years looks at a feature like this, you see white, you see dark water coming into it, fast and bouncy white water. The subtleties that you see as an experienced competitor of nuance to this feature. So the surfer's right, which is, if you imagine you're pointing upstream, will be the right-hand side of the feature. There is a diagonal shoulder feeding in, and we will talk you through that as we go through this wave. She is dropping in near the surfer's right here on that shoulder, setting up at a perfect spot for a big air loop to start her run, and swinging it around, moving it back towards the shoulder I was just mentioning. Now that is a great way to get yourself at the back of the feature, which is an important part of setting up for those big tricks. She also scoring sometimes as she's going for those setups. If you use a spin to do it, you can actually rack up some points, just like this competitor was doing just now, spinning around, trying to set up at the back of the feature, but gathering points as she does so. It's smart stuff. And there's a new, Kiwi, if you like, from New Zealand. She's come a long way to be here. She has got 93 provisional points on the board. Oh, she misses it. She's trying to drop onto the back of the feature there. And this is, again, this nuance. If she drops into the trough, which is the very lowest part, it is really hard to initiate most moves from there. She wants to do a plug for a loop-based trick, so she's trying to hold it right on the back of the feature. The risk, of course, Matt, if you do that, is that you go just that tiny little bit too far, and what happens?
You flush off the wave. That is part of competing in freestyle. Sometimes you get a flush, you get back up real fast. Katarina Daychuk of Austria, or it says Australia. Yeah, Australia? Is that where she's from?
I believe so, yes. That is, right. The next competitor has also come a long way to be here from Australia. And there is a few man-made courses quite similar to this in Australia. I don't. It does depend a lot on where you actually come from in Australia, being half, pretty much the size of Europe, I would say. So here she is, competitor from Australia, going straight in for a spin on this surface right shoulder, looking for a plug on the loop. Actually, big apologies. This is Mumutani from Japan. We had the wrong graphic pop up on our screen, and we're correcting that now. So Mumu has done some great moves so far. She is only rewarded so far from that 10 points. And Matt, why might we see some fantastic moves going down and very impressive stuff happening, but only 10 points showing on the scoreboard?
Absolutely, as Mumu makes it back into the wave. The Japanese are known for their gymnastics-like style here on the features. Lots of them flying really high. Mumu competing in the women's category, regular category here as well. Having a little bit of a struggle getting her groove and getting things moving on the wave as she heads on downstream. Looks like she, we're seeing Claire's score on the board there. I didn't quite see what Mumu's score was. 10 points there, currently in third place. And next up, we have Hitomi Takaku here. Hitomi came into this Worlds as the reigning world champion. She's also in the Masters class here. She's been paddling in everything, having a great time, loves to be out on the water. She's a bit of an Iron Woman here in this Whitewater Festival.
Yes. She's incredible. Sorry to interrupt you there, Matt, but I've trained in all sorts of places with Hitomi, and she just, I don't know how she does it. She just keeps going and going and going. I remember doing like 3 separate sessions in a day, which was a pretty heavy day. Going out early one morning, Hitomi was there. Going out at lunchtime, she was there as well. And then I came in the evening, I'm like, you're here again. We've done our 3 sessions. She's like, no, for me, just 1 session. Just one 12-hour session, Sam. Okay, just another day in Hitomi's training schedule. Absolute machine. Fantastic moves that she's got. This is her first ride dropping in shortly. What is she going to show for us?
That's right. Wearing that number 1 bib, showing she was the world champion coming into there. Huge entry, McNasty. Spinning it around. Going for a little bit of a wing over there, but that isn't really a move on the score sheet as she throws a nice big loop. Bringing it around, trying to get set up again here. I think she's going to look for a McNasty. Not quite getting it around in vertical. They need to finish that move within 20 degrees of upstream. Nice big loop. Oh, catching the eddy line there, flipping over, rolling up. She's pretty far downstream. Let's see if she's got enough to get back up. She's looking at the clock. A big smile on her face. She's making her way up to the top. I don't think she's got enough time to make it back up to the hole there, but she's got a solid ride of 310 points. And looks like that's going to go green there. So that is her official score, moving her well into the lead.
Yeah, there's some great moves in there. And I think this characteristic that Hitomi has the potential to do the most incredible rides, and all of the big tricks that you can see. She has them in her repertoire, but there is an element to her style and her competing which does go a little bit up and down. So sometimes she throws just the most mind-blowing, incredible ride, and she will often be right at the top of a category. And then at other times we do see her perhaps fluctuating more than some paddlers, and that's the nature of the game, but she does get herself through the rounds and puts herself in the right place to get on the medals, not just in senior category, but I believe she's competing later today in the final alongside 4 others of the most incredible paddlers in the world. Next up, Jessie Stone, back to the top of the order, second runs coming up. She has got a score on the board of 116. She's currently sitting in silver medal position, but she'll want to up that score. She definitely has the potential.
And here she is, Jessie Stone, or as we like to call her, Dr. Jessie. Nice big Space Godzilla. Right on the top of the feature, not quite able to stay on and retain the feature. She's making her way quickly into the eddy, and she's right back on that wave with 30 seconds left to go. Making her way over to the surfer's right side, sets up, drops in, huge loop. Getting it right up out of the water, hopefully getting an air bonus on that one. She's gonna reset, drops in, looking for a Space Godzilla to the right. Sets back up. You're gonna see a lot of the athletes using this surfer's right side to get things started into a split wheel, or cartwheel, then a split wheel. Going for some pass vertical lens, maybe wants to be a squirt boater in the hole there. She goes pass vertical right near the buzzer, using most of her entire time there other than a short flush. So far 155 points on the board, and there it goes green. Jessie Stone moves into the second place position.
Yeah, solid ride there. So she did have a flush, but if you are flushing, there is a sort of concrete block that sort of breaks up the eddy and helps form the shape of the feature. And if you can get above that, then that is a really great, thing to reduce this the time that you're going to spend in the eddy. It cuts down that time dramatically. Jessie got back in the feature, scored a bunch more points. She went for a Space Godzilla, didn't score it. It's really important with a Space Godzilla you get the full aerial, the boat out the water at some point in the move, and that you make sure there is a full 90-degree twist as you're halfway through that somersault. I mean, some of these tricks are just super technical and hard to deliver, and these paddlers making it look easy. So here we are with our next paddler, Andrea Hakka from Germany. Unfortunately, flushing on her entry move there. That is a real shame. She is back in the eddy and paddling back up. She has got 35 seconds, so she definitely will get more time in the feature. She is taking her time, getting herself set, making sure that she is composed and feeling fresh enough to deliver some of these big tricks when she gets back into the feature now. So she's coming over to surfer right, which is the spot to flush up. Oh, taking an unfortunate edge catch, rolling up and getting herself back in the eddy. I think that will be her run done. But tell you what, this is the final of a World Masters Championship. She's representing her country. She's getting smiles and cheers from her country people and people from all over the world. And happy to be here. She's getting encouragement from her coach and friends, and she's smiling. That's what we want to see.
Unfortunately, Andrea not being able to score any points there, but she's here in a Masters. She's having fun as we debut the Masters World Championships here at the ICF Canoe Freestyle World Championships 2022. There's also a whole whitewater festival going on here on the course this week with lots of events. We saw synchro freestyle, guns freestyle events, as we have
Katerina from Australia dropping into the feature, plugging straight for a loop. Just rushing off the feature. That's really unfortunate. You have got time, Katerina. Get yourself back into that eddy quick as you can. You want to sprint out of that flow to stop yourself moving downstream and get yourself back up the eddy. But you also want to make sure that when you do arrive back on that feature, you have the energy to do the moves that you want to do. And here she is. She's back in the feature. 18 seconds left. Definitely time to do some tricks. She's spinning it around. Might pick up a spin there if she's completed a 360. Oh no, Katerina, that was not what she was looking for. Thankfully, she did pick up that 10 points from the spin. She is not going to get back up for another ride, and she knows it. But so I think her first ride score will count. She has got a solid score in the bank. And that's why we have drop rides. We want paddlers to be going for it and really trying to do the very best that they can do. And if you have to score both rides, then you do have a more conservative approach, because strategically that is the thing to do when every ride counts. But in the finals, you will see much more of this kind of 2 rides, 1 count, 3 rides, 1 count later on. And so you will see the most spectacular, the most aggressive, and the most dynamic rides in the final. They are really, fired up and boosted by the crowd that is growing, Matt. There is a serious crowd already, and we're just building into this day here cheering on the Masters. Next up is Mumutani from Japan.
All right, yeah, Mumu getting ready to go here now. Her first ride, she's currently ranked in 4th, 10 points on the board. As Mumu drops in here in our Masters Super Final, the 4th and final event of our Masters Series here, right away into a nice big loop. Getting some points right on the board, getting more points already than she had on her first ride there. Going to be happy with that. She sets up, going for trying to do a Space Godzilla, getting a little bit of a flush out the back of the feature. Wearing that 88 Eric Lindros bib, if you follow hockey.
That is a cultural reference that will pass over most of the world, but I appreciate that.
There's a few people listening from Canada and the US, and I'm sure you'll get that.
Shout out to them. And here is Mumu back on the feature. She was trying to set up for that McNasty, and she was going for it in the first ride. I suspect we're going to see her try that now. She's setting up side surf. Oh, just missing the opportunity to pop that up. She had 10 points in her first ride. It is looking like she, with a solid air loop and a spin in that ride, that she's going to be boosting that score right up with 100 points and making her way onto the podium into the 3rd place. That is a big ride, and she's happy. She's punching the air. And we are looking at, actually, that is a secure 3rd place, because our final paddler is Hitomi, and she is currently sitting in 3rd place. So what drama at the end of this final. Mumu pulling it out when she needed it, getting a big air loop and pushing her way onto that podium, well deserved. And so we have a glory ride from our current women's world champion, Hitomi. She's maybe getting her eye in also. She's going to win this World Masters Super Final, but maybe she's also getting her eye in for today, ready for later on, where we've got the women's K1 category.
All right, Hitomi right away. Nice entry McNasty. Yep, you're right. She's probably getting a little bit of extra training in here in this ride as she gets the McNasty. She's going to set back up, getting a spin. Drops in, looks for maybe going for a loop there, but it was on a bit of a weird angle, catching a flush. Oh, she's going to work hard to get back up here onto the wave. 21 seconds left on the clock. She's in the eddy and charging up. The crowd's cheering her on to get her to the top of the eddy. All right, Hitomi back on twin waves. Just had the 10-second buzzer. You can see the clock's down to 5 seconds. Goes for a nice big McNasty. Unfortunately, flushing again. That'll be it for Hitomi Takaku of Japan.
Yeah, I mean, showing us what some of the great tricks that can be done. Just flashing on a few. She has already 310 points on the bank. That was a glory ride in the sense that by that we mean she is the last paddler to come, having been seeded before as the highest paddler, and also win the that category. So Hitomi is our new Masters Super Final gold medalist. Congratulations to Hitomi. And in second place, we have Jessie Stone from America and Mumu from Japan. Congratulations to our top paddlers. Coming up soon, we have a whole host of interesting things. And Matt, do you want to lay us out a little bit of what we got coming up next?
All right, yeah, it's finals day here, as we like to call it. It's the last day here at the ICF Canoe Freestyle World Championships 2022. We're going to be bringing you the finals of the Women's Kayak Surface Junior, the Men's Kayak Surface Junior, the Women's Kayak Surface, and the Men's Kayak Surface. These are the top 5 athletes that have been fighting through preliminary rounds, quarter rounds, semifinal rounds to make it into this final. Top 5 will be going, and they'll have 3 rides. The best one will count, where we'll be crowning our world championship champions, and they'll be hanging medals around their necks. Make sure you're back for that. The women's final will go here local time.
I'm over with Hitomi, who has just won the Masters category. Okay, Hitomi, how is it?
Yeah, so
for the
happy
men's
now.
juniors.
Yes,
so
and exciting. This world stars category. Yes.
Great, and you're also competing later as well in the ladies category as well. So what are you going to do now? What are you going to do to prep?
I'm busy. Every day. I'm tired, but I will do my best. Yes.
Of course, you always do your best. Take your time now. You've won this, and you're up later. So rest up, and we'll see you on the river later. Okay?
Yes.
Well done, Hitomi.
Thank you.
Somebody will be back on here in just a few minutes. In 10 more minutes, we'll have the women's junior kayak surface.
All right, welcome back here to the ICF 2022 World Championships in Nottingham, England. We are about to kick things off in just a few minutes for our first final of the day, the Junior Women's Final. I'm Anna Bruno.
We have 5 competitors who will be all looking for those top 3 spots this afternoon as we will crown our new Junior Ladies World Champion.
So just in case you missed that intro there, we are here, Junior Women's Final. So I'm Anna Bruno, joined by Alex Walters. Alex, who are our 5 finalists fighting for those top 3 spots today?
Yeah, so first up will be bib 166, Bevin Butler, all the way from Ireland. Up next we have 118, Jasmine Stangl Bracknick from Austria. Then we will have bib 161, Neve Mackin from Great Britain, local paddler here. Then up next we will have 110, Abby Holcomb from the United States of America. And finally we'll have our leader from the previous round, bib number 11, McKinley Kate Hargrove, all the way from the United States of America.
That's right, international final here for the Junior Women's. These are our top 5 paddlers out of a pretty broad field. You know, I do want to take a moment to just talk about I think the increase in the level of skill we've seen specifically in the Junior Women's category in the last 2 or 3 years, even since the last World Championships in sort. So McKinley Kate Hargrove sitting in first place from that semifinal round with a score of 746 points, which was a new record, an ICF score record, for the highest single ride score by a junior woman. Just the day before that, Abby Holcomb in preliminaries putting down a 730-point ride. So, you know, we are seeing a lot of talent, a lot of big tricks, a lot of high-scoring tricks, as well as some of the bonuses. And so, you know, this is going to be an exciting final. Yeah.
Judges getting ready, making sure they've got their
Excuse us if we had a couple of technical problems with one of our microphones there, but we'll be getting underway very shortly. Unfortunately, the weather in Nottingham has not held out like it has for the previous week, but I suppose it's English weather, and that's what you get.
It was sunny a minute ago. It's raining now. We've got lots of umbrellas, or what would you call them here?
Umbrellas, brollies, maybe? Brollies?
In the crowd. But yeah, I think we can see young Bevin Butler starting to make her way down to this first eddy. So once again, Bevin Butler, Jasmine Stengelbrock, Neve Mackin, Abby Holcomb, and McKinley Kate Hargrove. Kicking off our Junior Women's Final. Bevin's been paddling strong all week, paddled in the C1 category as well, and she drops into the feature, taking a conservative approach, skipping the entry move as she goes to set up for that McNasty. Unfortunately, catching her edge on that trick. Again, these women want these big scoring tricks. You know, she's getting the spin out of that as she spins it around, tries to set it up, but she knows what she wants. Going for the aerial loop, maybe getting a huge bonus, trying to clean it up. I'm not sure if the judges will give that. Finding her rhythm as she goes from the McNasty, switching it to the right.
Yeah, you can see her just shuffling in her boat there, making sure she's all nice and set up. There we go, going for the right McNasty, managing to get it to stick in the hole. She's going to move to that right-hand side again to try and set up for her McNasty in the other direction. Unfortunately, flushing, she's going to try and make her way back up. But that is unfortunately time for Bevin Butler.
So in the finals here, we do have 3 rides. Only 1 counts, right? So you could say that maybe these athletes are getting a little bit nervous. They're going to get a ride to shake those nerves off, figure out the feature, reacquaint themselves with the feature, see how they're feeling today after a big week of competition. Or maybe they're going to come out guns blaring, throwing down, trying to put everything they have on the line from the get-go.
Yeah, there we go. Score coming in for Bevin Butler's first run with 140 points. Remember, she's got 3 rides. She'll be looking to improve as she wants to take one of those medal positions.
That's right.
Looking at our previous rounds, usually the top contender was in around the 700-point mark. So I'm sure that's what all of these girls will be targeting this afternoon.
You know, I think we're looking for rides that I think our podium rides are going to be having both McNasties. You know, they're going to have a loop, maybe a Space Godzilla, maybe both Space Godzillas. I think we're looking for this. I think our final top 3 spots are going to need to have more than 1 or 2 tricks, even more than 3 tricks, if they really want to secure their spot on that podium.
Yeah, absolutely. And up next we have bib number 118, Jasmine, coming all the way from Austria. She is going to make her way down into the hole now, dropping in for an entry move 1. So head knot staying out of the water in that trick, but still getting some points on the board. Going for the left McNasty, plenty of air. Very straight. The judges looking for that loop to land within 20 degrees of upstream. She's now trying to set up for her next trick on that right-hand shoulder of the feature. There we go. Plugging for a big loop now. Plenty of air.
You could see her struggling a little bit there as she fought that surfer's right curler. You know, this feature is powerful. It's aggressive. It requires you as the athlete to show it who's boss. And she did a really nice job there of making that shoulder work for her. As athletes surf over, they can also kind of check that Jumbotron screen and see, as the live scoring flashes up, where am I at? How many points do I have? Did that last trick score? Do I need to do it again? But that is time for Yasmin's first ride.
Yeah, just going back to that score. There we go. Coming through now, 280 points. That'll put her into first position. Solid first ride.
Again, two nice tricks, bonuses on them, and I know that she's going to be looking for more. Yasmin, to put that out there while we wait for Neve, our next competitor, Austria's first ever junior women competitor. So what an achievement, not only to be Austria's first junior woman, but to make it into your final.
Yeah, and taking the lead. I mean, we have 3 other competitors to come up next, but it's a solid start. So we'll have to see whether she retains the lead. Up next, we have bib number 161, Neve Macken, local from Nottingham. She's been coming up through the Nottingham Freestyle League, which is a competition run by some local paddlers here. She's been going to that for the last few years, really homing her competition skills, and this is her chance to showcase them on the world stage.
Yeah, Neve really known for the amplitude on her tricks. Really beautiful, snappy paddler, taking that conservative approach again as she drops into the hole and takes her time setting up for that trick, going for a Space Godzilla to the right. She's going to be surfing right back across. Look at the speed as she just powers across that feature. Going for a big loop, trying to clean it up. The amplitude on her tricks is really just incredible. You know, I'm hoping she's getting some huge bonuses on these. That is a Space Godzilla to the left if I ever saw one. Oh my goodness, that is a difficult trick to score here. And she is throwing down. She knows what she wants. Neve struggling to score her McNasties in her rides yesterday. I know that she's been out here practicing and she wants to get those big points for that trick, and she's going to be going back for it time after time until she can get those points on the board. Home crowd cheering.
Yeah, very much so. All of the Team GB team members on the side cheering her on loudly, as well as friends and family. Hopefully we'll see some replays of that ride. Saw Neve getting plenty of amplitude on all those tricks, looking for the bonuses. I mean, nice space there. Score coming in at 346 points, putting her into the lead so far of the junior women's
If you're just joining us here now, we have 3 judges. Each judge judges independently. They're not watching a live feed. They don't get instant replay. They have to call these tricks as they see them. And if one judge gives a trick but not the other 2, you might see a .33 in that score. If 2 judges give it but not the third, you might see a .67. And if all 3 judges do see it or don't, you'll get that .00 flat score. So, but Neve taking the top place on the leaderboard, and I think that we are going to see this leaderboard change throughout the competition. Next up, we have young Abby Holcomb out of the US of A. This is Abby's 2nd Junior Worlds. She's hailing from Colorado, where she spends her time in Buena Vista and Salida, but she lives in a van pretty much full-time, traveling to where the kayaking is. Again.
There we go, dropping into the hole now, opting not to go for an entry move, but then starting off her ride with a McNasty, unfortunately flushing. She is going to have to paddle hard back up into the feature to get back and scoring points. Remember that you can only score points if you are in the feature. There we go, moving to the right-hand side now, trying to go for that McNasty again, managing, unfortunately flushing for a 2nd time on that McNasty. She's going to have to make her way back up. She's got 16 seconds. She's got some time to put some points on the board as a first ride.
So even though paddlers get 3 rides, oh my goodness, Abby, no, that's so devastating. Because even though paddlers get 3 rides and only 1 counts, your lowest drop score can serve as a tiebreaker. So getting 0 points is never an optimal place to be for any paddler, but I know Abby was out here this morning She said she had some good practice rides. She's feeling good. She's been working with Den Newton of Sweetwater Coaching, working with Claire O'Hara, a former world champion, and I know that she has what it's going to take to put some good tricks down. I know she's got friends, family, boyfriend Aiden watching at home, and I imagine that they are stressed.
Yeah.
I don't know, do you think it's harder to be the athlete or to be the friends and family watching?
Oh, that's a difficult question. I mean, as an athlete, you know that you've done absolutely everything you can, so it's kind of easy once you're in this top eddy because you know what's going to happen is going to happen.
It's true, but
I
you
think
know,
as
Abby,
a spectator, it's not quite so easy.
Yeah, it's true. But we know that Abby put down a 700-point ride early in the week. We know she's capable. So is our next paddler, McKinley Kate Hargrove, out of Columbus, Georgia, Phoenixville, Alabama, I should say, US of A. Brother Mason competing in the senior men's semifinal yesterday. She is hyped. She's pumped. She got the ride of her life yesterday. I know she's looking to repeat it. Dropping in for that entry move. Seeing if she gets some points on the board. Starting things off, going for that McNasty, getting air, bringing the boat beautifully over the top. McKinley Kate training on the Chattahoochee River. Oh my gosh, that was a beautiful loop, maybe a Space Godzilla. Massive air on these tricks. You can just see her pink helmet flying. Goes to set up for her next trick. Unfortunately, just missing the plug on that. Spinning it around, gonna look for that other McNasty. You can see how much she's hopping her boat, driving that edge into the water to try and get that pop as the boat rejects off the green. Mom Melissa, I can hear cheering her on. Brother Mason, Sister Mary Claire, all of Team USA. They want her on that podium. Going for a loop on the buzzer.
Yeah, good first ride there, getting a good number of points on the board. We got that provisional score coming in at 306 points. The judges will be deliberating afterwards to see, make sure that all of the tricks fit their definition and their criteria. Score coming in now at 306 points. That'll move her into second position between Neve Mackin of Great Britain. There's about a 40-point gap in between first and second place. It's tight so far.
And there's a lot of room for those scores to improve. A lot of these young paddlers have not had the competition experience that you see from a lot of our older paddlers, our senior paddlers that we're going to be seeing their finals later today. And I think just to have the composure to be in what for some is their first ever ICF final is just a huge moment.
Yeah, it's a real learning point. And up next we have Bib 166, Bavin Butler from Ireland, dropping into the hole now, trying to move over to that right-hand side for her first trick. Going for the right McNasty, trying to get air on it, but just going onto the flush line. Unfortunately, coming out of the feature, she's going to have to paddle her way back up. Team Ireland on the side, cheering her loudly.
It's difficult for the spectators watching. You see somebody do a trick and you don't understand why did that score, why did that not score. Because it looks like they did the trick, it was amazing, but the judges, as you said, Alex, have that very strict definition that they're looking for and what they want to see.
There we go, going for the left McNasty, unfortunately flushing again. It seems to be quite a tricky trick that we've seen so far in this heat. It seems to be causing quite a few of the athletes a little bit of trouble. It's a very complex movement. You have 180-degree rotation, so going from a back surf into a front surf, linking fluidly into a front loop. It's a very complex trick.
The way I refer to it, or the way I teach people when I'm learning it or talking about it, is almost as if you're learning to drive a car with a clutch. So when you're putting that car into first gear, you can kind of feel that clutch stall out. Maybe you give it too much gas or not enough gas. And it's that same thing as you look to find that initiation on that McNasty edge, right? You're looking to hold and find that perfect balance point of clutch plus gas for that acceleration to get the maximum release as smoothly as possible. And I think once you find that point, you rarely stall the car. Yep. But when you're learning, my gosh, you stall constantly. And I think that when you're a little bit nervous, maybe you're on a stressful hill, all of a sudden that changes. And this feature is dynamic. It's changing every day.
Yep.
And that's part of the fun and the challenge of whitewater.
Yeah, absolutely. Up next, we have current third place. We have Jasmine from Austria. She's just waiting for Shep, our head judge, to give her the thumbs up. Shep leading a team of 3 top flight ICF judges. We're going through training to be here.
You can see Yasmin's mom and her teammate Denise will be competing in finals this afternoon, cheering her on and coaching her from the side. Coach Bartosz stoked to see her stick that entry one. Going to set things up, looking for that big switch McNasty, maybe getting the air, maybe getting the angles. We will see. Doesn't look like the judges like that. She might have to go back and repeat that trick. But first, going for an aerial loop. Again, needing to bring the bow down straight to make sure that that trick scores. She's working, it looks like, to set up her next trick, that McNasty, with 45 seconds in their rides. You know, if you're doing 3, 4, 5 tricks, you've got between 10 and 15 seconds per move to set it up, so you can take your time. You don't have to rush, but it can be hard to remember that. It looks like Jasmine's time is not actually running on our clock here, but I did just hear that 10-second buzzer go, and then that's the final buzzer right there.
Yeah, so that main buzzer being the one which is important. Our timing screen and scoring screen is only provisional, so just worth remembering that. Unfortunately, that'll be the ride for Jasmine. Coming in at 90 points, unfortunately not improving on her first ride score. She'll take that through to the leaderboard. So currently still sitting in third position, 280 points. She'll be wanting to improve on that for a third and final run, but she's got some good points on the board.
Coach Bartosz there from Poland working with her. Bartosz coming 8th in the world in his own semi-final round earlier this week. So again, just the community here, the support that these athletes have. You know, you come to this World Championship not just to compete and showcase what you're capable of, but to learn, and to learn from some of the best in the world. And there is no better environment to develop your skills, to get better, to learn, than to be part of an event like this. You know, coming up this October in Columbus, Georgia, USA, home to one of our athletes, McKinley Kate, will be that World Cup Championship, which is open to all athletes not in a national team to compete. But we'll talk more about that later, because right now, Neve Macken, our current leaderboard, top of the leaderboard, is lining it up for her first move.
Dropping into the hole, giving a big loop with plenty of air. The crowd really appreciating that. You can see all of the Nottingham locals here to cheer on, going for a big space, trying to go for a space loop. One of these really quite new school tricks that you quite often see in the senior men's category, which is a Space Godzilla linked into a front loop. Now making her way back into the feature from that flush. Surfing around on the right-hand side, looking for her next trick. What's it going to be? A right McNasty. Managing to retain in the feature, giving her the opportunity to score some more points. There we go, setting up again, trying to go for the right McNasty.
You know, that was good competing right there, right? She missed that McNasty edge. She spun it around and said, hey, I'm well set up. Rather than going back for that, I'm just going to try and get a Space Godzilla, get more points on the board. So you have to be able to adapt every moment here.
Yeah, and that's really the sign of some of the top. God, look at the height on that. Incredible.
You know, they had a biggest loop competition here yesterday, and I am wondering if Neve competed, because that loop to me looks like it could have won it. She could have taken it out from GB senior men's team Gav Barker, who did take the win.
Yeah, score coming in at 300 points. So Neve will retain her first round score. But she'll still remain in first position, so she'll be eagerly awaiting what the next two ladies put down for their second rise. Remember that these are our top 2 seed athletes for the junior women's field, both previously completing runs in excess of 700 points, which is just an incredible achievement.
I believe Tom Dole of France yesterday said the junior women's scores beat one of my ride scores yesterday. And we laughed and said they did. They definitely beat mine. And so much young talent coming out of the United States. Abby Holcomb, just the epitome of that. There's that McNasty setting it up. Abby scoring an unfortunate 0 on her first ride. She's looking for redemption as she brings that second McNasty over the top, working to retain the feature. Abby keeping her calm, keeping her composure. Well done there. You can see her working hard. She does not want to waste a second of this ride. Nice big aerial loop. Setting up that next trick. What's it going to be? Going for a Space Godzilla to the right, really powering down to try and get the height on that trick that she wants to get those air and huge bonuses. Going back, making sure she got the rotation, trying for a lunar orbit on the buzzer, working hard to stick it. Back it up. Go for the back loop, Abby. Yes, there you go. Well done, Abby. So maybe not her best ride ever, but that is the ride that is... She put points on the board. She's going to raise that #1 score. I would not be surprised to see Abby topping the podium after that ride for at least this round.
Yes, yes, very strong indeed. She spent the whole time in the feature pulling these really advanced technical tricks with a high degree of precision in the landings, making sure that the judges are scoring them. Again, look at this replay. Look at plenty of air.
506 points. So that is a strong, commanding lead from Abby Holcomb. But as we know, up next, McKinley Kate Hargrove, also capable of putting that 700-point ride when everything clicks and goes together. The question is, does she have the consistency to put it together exactly when she needs it? Right now, McKinley Kate sitting in that third place spot on the podium, she knows that if she definitely wants to podium, she's going to have to put down a little bit more to secure her spot.
Yeah, I mean, being in third already can be quite a reassuring place to be. You know you've got points on the board. You can kind of amp up the tricks, amp up the risk a little bit, and hopefully go for that dream ride, which is what all of these athletes are striving for. There we go. Seeing McKinley Kate almost vibrating with energy there. There we go. Going for the entry one to start off her ride. Going in for the McNasty. Managing to get it aerial, but just on the flush line. The crowd trying to cheer her back up as quickly as possible to get her back in the hole and scoring some points.
I could see her brother and coach Mason shaking his head there at her. She looked upstream to see, what do I need to do? What do I do next? You know, going for that front loop, getting points on the board, competing smart, competing safe, trying for that Space Godzilla to the right, backing it up, spinning around. She's going to be looking for the McNasty, really pivoting on the bow here, but you can see her just starting to rush that tiny bit as she's, you know, you feel the pressure of the clock counting down as you know you need to put those points on the ride, get those big scores.
Yeah, you can definitely see some athletes react very differently. There we go, score coming in at 90 points. McKinley Kate will keep her first ride score.
McKinley Kate only turning 15 this year. You know, if the Worlds had been held last year as they were supposed to, McKinley Kate would not have been eligible to compete for the junior team. So juniors must be between the ages of 15 and 18 in the year of competition. And so what an opportunity for McKinley Kate to get to compete in this Worlds, but also to have the World Cups and the future World Championships at home, her hometown river, the Chattahoochee in Columbus, Georgia, in the next 2 years. So for McKinley Kate in her first World Championship to be in a final, to right now be on that, in that podium potential is just remarkable, and there's a lot more to be seen. But all eyes upstream, Bevan Butler of Ireland in her third and final ride here in the junior women's semifinal.
Yeah, starting the ride with what looks to be an entry one, moving to the right-hand side. You can see the Irish team on the side cheering loudly for her. I believe there's even a bagpipe.
There is definitely a bagpipe.
There we go, going for a big loop, plenty of air on that. She'll be looking for the bonus. Remember, these tricks will score a base number of points, and then you can add the bonuses on top. There you go, going now for a McNasty, plenty of air, and you can hear Team Ireland. They very much appreciate the tricks that she's putting down, and now going for her next trick, trying to go for the right McNasty.
Oh, how did she retain that?
That was quite incredible.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, just flushing. She's going to have to paddle back up, but only 2 seconds left. She's decided to call the ride there.
So Bevan Butler, I believe a newer paddler to the freestyle scene, coming out of that southeastern freestyle scene. Huge support from the Irish team. The depth of talent we are seeing at this Worlds from Team Ireland is just remarkable, and every year they just keep getting better. And it's just so fun to see these young, explosive, powerful athletes like Bevan. You know that what she put down today isn't a fraction of what she's capable of doing. And I hope that we see her back here at future World Championships.
Yeah, absolutely. That score coming in at 196 points. That will be an improvement on her first round score. Up next, we have bib number 118, and that will be Jasmine coming all the way from Austria. You can hear some of the Austrian contingent lining up on the side of the bank now, ready to cheer her on.
So this is Jasmine's third and final run in our final round. She is currently in 4th place on the leaderboard, only 26 points separating that score. That is a cartwheel.
Yes.
You know, so she knows that she has the ability to break into this leaderboard. Right now, pressure is on. Cheer her on, those of you watching at home. Send her some love in the comments board. Can she do it? Entry 1, starting things off, getting those first points. Going to switch it around for the McNasty. Not quite getting the release on that trick. She's going to have to go back and redo that. You can see her taking her time, setting up again, pulling on that stroke. Trying again. What is she going to do next? I'm guessing she's going to be changing it up, maybe trying for a loop. Nope, she wants those big tricks. She wants those big points. Spinning it around, somehow with magical ninja skills, not flipping over on that move. Again, every point counts, going for a Space Godzilla, 10 more seconds. What can she do? Once again, spinning it around. 3 seconds left, time on the buzzer. You see her just shaking her head as she's unfortunately not quite able to get that trick going that she wanted to. It's the fatigue, it's the adrenaline. It's been a big week of competition here in England.
Yeah, particularly the finals round is one of the most physically draining types of freestyle competition you can do. You've got to put down 3 whole rides in a very short space of time indeed. So we have that score coming in now. At 136 points, she will be keeping her first run score.
So what this means right now, as we're in our final round, is that we have our top 3 paddlers in this heat still to come, all of whom have secured themselves a spot on the podium. So right now, this is either going to be a victory lap or the I'm going to put everything in I have run, because they want to not just be on that podium, they all want the top spot. This, ladies and gentlemen, is where the battle really is going to begin. And I'm excited to watch Neve throw down the gauntlet here. Home course, training here all year long. What does she have for us?
Yeah, we will see. She's making her way down now. You can hear the crowd. They are wanting her to put down the ride of her life. She's dropped into the hole, setting up for her first trick, going for the right McNasty, managing to stick it, stay retained in the feature, and set up for her next trick. Remember, staying in the hole is the name of the game. Plugging now for a big, massive loop. Plenty of air, looking for the huge bonus. I'm sure the judges will be very appreciative on height on that. Going now for the right space. She is so calm in the way she paddles, just moving one trick to the next. There we go, trying to go for the right McNasty. Unfortunately, probably not getting it within the 20 degrees that she needs from upstream to score, but she's going again. And there we go, going for the right space.
I'm not sure if she's already done that trick. I believe she has, but still, what amplitude, what talent. Unfortunately, Neve unlikely to better her first run score, 280 points coming in, but she has secured herself, at the very least, a medal for Great Britain and a spot on today's podium.
Yeah.
Gosh, those loops are just spectacular, aren't they?
Yeah, what a brilliant achievement, regardless of the final medal position.
And it's, you know, as an athlete, it's so easy to be fixated on the outcome and on the medals. And I think for all of these young paddlers, you know, it's quite an achievement. And yet you can still be disappointed, you know, because you're not quite scoring those tricks that you have, that you really want to get down. You're not able to put together the ride that you knew you were capable of. And I think for the athletes, it's always about that. You know, it's about how do we compete with ourselves rather than the people around us to keep getting better.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you can only control what you can do. So it was a really, really smart approach to take to these competitions, and I'm sure all of these athletes will have their own personal goals, what they want to achieve, what points, what scores.
Now, dropping in Abby Holcomb, our current leaderboard podium topper. She's going to be lighting things on fire, starting things off with that entry 3, trying to get the air bonus, at least getting some points on the board, going for that McNasty. Really initiating that trick a little bit closer to surfers left in that flushier spot, working to retain the feature, setting it up. She goes for the McNasty the other way, and unfortunately flushing off. Abby currently sitting on a 500-point ride, but I know she wants more. Will this be the ride? Is she going to be able to put it together in these 20 seconds? She's going to have to go back for that McNasty, but she has the composure. She's got the experience. Here we go, spinning it around, getting the spin. As I catch my breath as she goes for the lunar orbit, unfortunately just not sitting it down. Wow.
Good ride. There was some really good tricks in there, but I think unfortunately due to that flush in the middle, we won't be seeing her first score topped, but that's okay. She's still in #1 position.
She's in the #1 position.
McKinley's got a long, she's got to put down a really, really solid ride to take it from her. So there we go. Score coming in for Abby Holcomb. 210 points for her third ride. So the score to beat for McKinley Kate Hargrove will be 506 points. That's no mean feat. I mean, you're talking about...
And yet at the same time, you know, that's maybe 2 tricks if you have those bigger tricks, if you're not getting them to score. So that could be McKinley Kate adding a back loop into her ride. That could be nailing an entry move, you know, like this is not outside the realm of possibility. And we did see her put down some really big rides yesterday. Brother Mason cheering her on. I can't hear them, but I know they're watching. Dad Matt, brother Mathis, Lucy and Joseph, and all of the Columbus, Georgia community. Joe Ball, I bet, cheering her on. Friends Chloe, so many people in just the Chattahoochee River Basin who work with these Hargrove family and just love them and have so much support. I hope she can feel it. I can see her pumping herself up as she drops into the feature.
Dropping in now with an entry one, starting off her ride, moving to the right-hand side of the feature to set up for her first big trick, going for a McNasty, getting plenty of air on that. Those are the type of tricks that we need to be seeing from McKinley to reach her target score of 506 points. There we go, spinning around, trying to set up for her next trick. Going for the McNasty the other direction, unfortunately catching a little bit of an edge on it. Unfortunately, Flushing, she can make it back up into the hole. Remember, she only needs to get 2 big tricks on what she's got at a minute. In the minute.
Strong recovery from McKinley Kate. I think she's going to want to at least try and beat Neve's 346 points. Can she do it with 5 seconds left to go? Big aerial loop. Will she flush it? She's pumping. She's still proud. Oh my goodness, what a junior women's final we had.
Incredible, incredible. That final score coming in for McKinley Kate Hargrove with 196 points. And with that, we have our final order, I believe.
We do. So topping the podium, and now our new reigning junior women's world champion, Abby Holcomb out of the USA, our silver medalist, Niamh Macken of Great Britain, and only a few points behind McKinley Kate Hargrove, one of our youngest competitors here at the World Championship, in third, earning herself that bronze medal. There's Mom Melissa, so excited. You can see the tears. You can see Coach Claire giving the high five. Abby smiling, shouting congratulations. I love the camaraderie that you are seeing here today. You know, we might have to get ourselves some pink helmets, Alex.
I think so. I think so. We'll sit in the commentary booth with them on. No, but what an incredible performance.
Brother Mason, also a former junior world champion, coming in to give that hug.
Yeah, you can see what it means to all of them. They've been working for this for the last few years.
Which will be the 3rd to the 9th of October, 2022. There's going to be 2 different World Cup events held on the Chattahoochee River, one on the ambush wave feature from the 3rd to the 5th of October, and the second from the 7th to the 9th of October on the good wave feature, which will be hosting the World Championship the following year. So Abby getting herself an automatic bye into that World Championship. She can take a great big breather, and now she's got a full year to celebrate, to practice, to train, and figure out what that means, and honestly, just keep getting better.
It's incredible. I'm sure we will see the standard continue to increase in the junior ladies. I'm sure we will see the standard continue to increase in the junior ladies category, as it has done year on year, and we saw that happen this year again. Score coming in at 506 points for the title of junior world champion, awarded to Abby Holcomb. What an incredible performance.
Yeah, you know, great tricks, some lunars being thrown, some points that, you know, were not moves we're not used to seeing, and just showcasing the level of talent here we have. But that may be it for the junior women's final. Next up, we are going to have our junior men's final starting here fairly shortly, so do stay tuned.
Yeah, join us again at 10 to 2. That's when the junior men's will be commencing. So you've got about a 15-minute break. Go and make yourself some tea, coffee, and then come back and join us then when we'll be crowning another junior world champion in kayak freestyle.
I'm Anna Bruno.
And I'm Alex Walters.
Thank you so much for joining us today, and we'll see you back here soon.
Welcome back to home, Pierpoint County Park here, home of the National Water Sports Centre in Nottingham, England. We're here for the 2022 ICF Canoe Freestyle World Championships. Next up, we've got our junior men's K1 finals. It is the big day here. It's finals day, day number 6 of our World Championships. I've got Alex Walters here, myself, Matt Hamilton. We're going to be bringing you the action in our junior men's category. We've got a stacked heat. These guys have been working tirelessly all week through the preliminaries, the quarterfinals, the semifinals, and now here it's Saturday, it's finals day, and ready to get the action started.
Yeah, we have an absolutely stacked heat here for you today. These athletes all proving themselves to be the top 5 in the junior men's category, often putting in scores which are close to those of the senior men's, just going to show the skill level of these athletes. We are looking forward to a very tight and close competition this afternoon as our top 5 athletes battle for the title of Junior World Champion.
We have an amazing crowd here. There's going to be a few hundred people up on the bank there. As you can see them all waving to the camera. They've been cheering. You're going to see the flags flying for each country. There's little cheering groups that run down right on the barrier of the river there to cheer on their country. It's amazing to see so many people taking an interest in freestyle, coming down here to check things out in Nottingham. We've got a panel of 3 judges, a head judge, all ready to go. Just for those who are interested, we do have some World Cups coming up this fall in Columbus, Georgia, the 3rd to 9th of October of this year. World Cup number 1 will be the 3rd to the 5th. World Cup number 2, the 7th to the 9th. They have a wave feature and a hole feature there, so that we're going to be showcasing both aspects of freestyle there, Alex.
Yeah, it sounds like it's going to be an absolutely incredible event. And of course, they will be hosting the World Championships the following year, where all of these athletes, some of them will get the chance to defend their junior titles or move on to the senior categories, where we'll see them battle out again. But at the moment, we are looking and turning our attention to the National Water Sports Centre in Nottingham. We've got our heat lists ready for the finals of the men's kayak surface junior category. We have Matteo Williams from New Zealand, Max Martinez Barrier from Spain, Nansei Okazaki from Japan, Tim Reece from Germany, and taking the top seed, Ben Higson from Great Britain.
Yeah, these 5 athletes will be on the water here. They're going to have 3 rides. The best one will count, so they'll have 2 throwaway rides, which gives them a chance to really showcase what they can do here in the finals. It's amazing to see the depth of fields here in this finals. These guys are amazing athletes. I think the men are getting a little nervous that they're going to have to compete against these guys at the next World Championships, which is great to see. Next up, the young American, Matteo Williams. Big shout out. He is a crowd favorite here. You can see the Americans making their way down to the river's edge as Mateo comes down. I see the thumbs up from Paul Shepard, the largest thumb in freestyle paddling. Mateo paddling for New Zealand, but lives in the southeast U.S. as he drops in. Huge entry wing over, looking for that entry 2 score. Throwing it around into a McNasty. Oh, getting a little bit of a bubble. He's right there on the edge. He'll be back in this feature really quickly. There he is, back on twin wave. Going for a McNasty. Sets up over into the river right side. Drops in. Huge loop. Well, he got air for sure. Maybe not a huge bonus, but definitely some loop. There it is. Going for a Space Godzilla. Going for a lunar orbit. Getting lots of big scoring moves on the board. Retaining the feature here at the end. He's got 5 seconds left. Going for a tricky woo. He's got time for one more move. Going for a cartwheel into a lunar right at the buzzer. Mateo really throwing it down near the end of his ride there. Awesome way to start off a final round.
Yeah, a really good run, and particularly a good recovery. Remember, he flushed a little bit through his ride, having to make his way back up and spend some of that precious time that he's got to score points, making his way back up into the hole. You can see some of these tricks that he's throwing very clean, very large, and you can see how precise they are. Score coming in now, 526 points. I'm sure the other competitors in the top eddy will be wanting to top that, but it's a solid start. Remember, these competitors have 3 runs, and their single best ride will count. So there are plenty of opportunities to push that score up. Next up, we've got Max Martinez Barrier from Spain, putting in solid performances through both the preliminary and semi-final rounds to get him into this top 5. He's going to be wanting to take that top spot in the first round.
Max is ready to go as he sets up. Max from Spain. Some solid rides in our preliminaries and semifinals. Let's see what he's got for us here in the finals. Getting a wing over into a McNasty. Getting a little bit of air on that McNasty, I think, going for it in the other direction. Also, I think he might have been getting the air bonus added to those. Let's see what the judges will say as he goes for a phonics monkey. Getting his boat right out of the water, staying on the feature. A little bit flushy over on that left side. We've seen a number of athletes bubble out there. Oh, as he's going to use the eddy to reset up. Drops into the center of Twin Waves with a nice Space Godzilla to the right. As he moves over, going for a lunar orbit, linking it into a cartwheel, going for it the other direction. He wants that lunar loop right at the buzzer. Great ride from Max of Spain.
Yeah, he's happy with that. You can see all of the Spanish team along the riverbank who've been down here to cheer him on. God, looking at the replay, you can see some of these tricks, very, very advanced maneuvers. They take years to learn and perfect. You can see here, look at this, going for a phonics monkey, which is a 360-degree rotation on the bow of the boat, followed by a front loop. Very, very high skill trick, and you can see the judges are rewarding those difficult moves. Score coming in now, 733 points. That'll move Max into first position so far, but we still have 3 competitors yet to post their first rides.
You are right. Next up, Nanase Akazaki of Japan. I really like this guy's style. It's an explosive style, really gymnastics-like. A lot of the Japanese seem to have that style on the water. He scored some of the highest bonuses for air on it. You're going to see him really flying up out of the water. Love the design on his Gigi Prod boat as he drops in. Big wing over, nice and vertical. Maybe looking for entry through. Oh, catching a bit of a bubble there. He's still in the feature. He's going to reset up, get things going again. There's the McNasty. And let's see, I think he was doing McNasty in the other direction. Nope, he's going for a loop. Huge, holding his paddle up to get that clean bonus. Showing the judges he didn't finish with his paddle as he goes for a nice McNasty. All right, he's setting back up, going for a phonics monkey. Nice high finish, maybe getting a air or huge bonus on that. As he sets back up, drops in. Big Space Godzilla to the right. Absolutely massive ride going here for a lunar orbit. He's got 1 second left. Let's see what he's got for us. Going for a tricky woo.
Yeah, very strong ride there for Nanase. He's going to be wanting to break that 1,000 point barrier, which I'm sure we will see broken during the course of this heat, getting plenty of amplitude. You can see the influence of his coaches, Kim Fontane Masso, previous world champion, and Bartosz, who we saw in the earlier rounds of the competition, really influencing his style, taking this really snappy and what I personally think quite a beautiful form of paddling to the junior men's category. And there we go, score coming in, 996 points. That will move Nanase into the first position for the K1 junior men's finals. There we go, just looking at that replay, I mean, incredible amplitude on his tricks. Trying to go for the clean bonus, that's one of the options that's available to these athletes. Just showing the paddle to the judges, showing that they've not used it in the last phase of their tricks. Up next, we have Tim Reece coming all the way from Germany. He is a crowd favorite. He has put down rides in the 1,300 point region. I'm sure he'll be looking to achieve similar in the finals today. There we go. He's looking very ready to compete and throw down. He wants this title.
That's right, throwing that little paddle twirl in as he drops in for an entry wing over right into a McNasty, linking those up, looking for that link bonus. There he is, into a lunar, linked into cartwheels, getting a few more cartwheels going, right into a McNasty. Really getting some points on the board, throwing a phonics monkey. These athletes can do those tricks in both directions as he goes for a loop. Getting up nice and high, getting some air bonuses on that. Here he goes for a lunar. He's going to link it into a loop. Maybe getting air bonus on that or a huge bonus on that second half. Absolutely amazing ride going here. Wow, lunar loop. Wow, getting the links. Going for a Space Godzilla to the right. Split wheel, cartwheels. Absolutely lighting it up here.
Wow. Just wow. That is an incredible performance from Tim. The score looking like it's going to be in that 1,200 point band. That is just incredible for the junior men's category. That's going to be pushing on the scores for the senior men's this afternoon. And you can see just the frequency of the tricks that Tim is pulling is on another level. He's cramming more tricks than anybody else into each of his rides. Score moving up to 1,320. That would be putting him close to on par of his preliminary performance. We know that he's got some more in the tank, though. I was speaking to him yesterday after he was training, and he was saying that, well, you know, his preliminary rides were good, but he thinks he could probably put on a couple of extra 100 points, which is just incredible to think. He's going to be looking now to the judges as they are finalizing their scores. Remember, we have 3 judges. They will each be independently scoring the ride, and then the scores will be averaged together to achieve our final score for the athlete. It seems like there's quite a lot of deliberation going on now in the judges' tent. Tim signaling for the points to go up. He wants some more. He seems very, very happy with that ride, though. There's something quite nice about seeing the score going up after you've completed it. Score coming in now, 1,386 points. That is a solid performance from Tim and a tough score to beat from Ben, but he is looking ready. He was the #1 seed in the semi-finals round. Local paddler coming all the way from Cardiff, but spending a lot of time here in Nottingham preparing for this competition. I'm sure Mother Lizette in the crowd's cheering him on.
All right, here's Ben Higson of the UK as he drops right in to that entry McNasty into a lunar loop. He knows he's got to link it up and really throw down here in the final as he goes for a lunar into a cartwheel, going to a tricky woo, right into another cartwheel, really linking things up, keeping the boat moving, getting the points on the board. He goes for a McNasty. Ooh, shooting across the feature there. He's going to move back, set back up. He's going for a lunar in the other direction. Looks like it's going to a lunar tricky woo loop combo there, but not quite getting the tricky woo. There he goes for a phonics monkey. He's going to drop in. He's going to go for a front loop. Big loop. Catching a bit of a flush after that loop, and that's a solid ride for Ben Higson of Great Britain.
Wow, so that provisional score coming in around the same mark as Tim, so we'll have to see what the judges are thinking. If there are any borderline tricks, we'll see if the score goes up. Ben trying to encourage the judges to increase that score. You can see him gesturing to them, trying to get them to pump up the numbers a little bit. So he's looking for that score of 1,386 to beat Tim Reece and take the #1 slot. Remember, these athletes have 2 more rides to increase their score. So they're given 3 rides. The best ride will count, and that is what will determine our future junior world champion. So you can see some of the replay here is just incredible. The amplitude that Ben gets on his tricks is really quite stunning, and he's putting in a lot of these very risky combination tricks like the lunar orbit loop, I think we saw him try and go for a lunar orbit linked to a tricky woo, linked to a loop, which is just an incredible combination that we would normally be seeing in the senior men's category. But these athletes are, all competing at age under 18. And there we go. Score coming in, 1,260 points. He's on Tim's heels.
He definitely is. He missed one of his moves. He didn't quite complete that one combo move. I think if he had done that, it may have put him into the lead. He's got 2 more rides to make that happen. We definitely have a battle going on between 1 and 2 for sure. Let's see what they've got for us as we move back to the top of the order. We got Matteo Williams of New Zealand. The young lad, his mom Maria, was a well-known freestyle paddler and river runner. Awesome lady, unfortunately passed away in a whitewater incident. He's here paddling for his mom. Matteo Williams of New Zealand is here. He's dropping in, big smile on his face. He loves to paddle as he gets that wing over entry, looking maybe for an entry 2, sets up. He's gonna go for McNasty. He's going to move back over to the surfer's right side, getting set up again, into the McNasty in the other direction, bubbling up high in the pile. He's a big, strong paddler, unfortunately having to use the eddy to get back into the feature, which will cost him for that last move as he's right back in there, ready to go. Still has 19 seconds on the clock. Mateo dropping in, looking for a loop, holding his paddle up, wants that clean bonus, going for a lunar. Spins around, sets up, he's gonna go for a cartwheel, maybe trying to clean that cartwheel. Oh, he was going for a split there, maybe, a tricky woo. All right, that'll be it for Matteo Williams' second ride here in the junior men's finals.
Yeah, good run there, managing to get a number of tricks on the board. Let's just look at the replay here. Looking at this McNasty, so quite often when these athletes are pulling tricks, they're looking for an air bonus, which means that the boat goes fully out of the water during the performance of the trick. We've got a score come in for Mateo's second run, coming in at a score of 333. He'll keep his first run score in the overall standings. So to get into that medal slot position, it looks like he's going to need about 996 points. Up next, we've got Max Martinez Barrier from Spain.
All right, he's currently got a 733.33 on the board. He would like to move up that to get into a medal position. He can do it. Let's see what he's got for us. Nice big wing over entry move, looking for entry 2. Sets up right into a McNasty. Right, he's going around. He's going to go for the McNasty in the other direction. Nice and snappy, nice and tall. Maybe getting an air bonus on that one. See what the judges will have. We're calling it here. The judges make the decisions, though. As he goes for a phonics monkey, pulling it around, still retaining the feature. A little off access on the finish of that. We'll see if the judges are going to give it to him. As he goes for a Space Godzilla to the right. All right, back over to the surfer's right side there, the favored spot. Here, there's a nice pocket for the athletes to pop their boats up into the air. Oh, catching a little bit of a bubble. Doing a quick back deck roll. That'll be it for Max of Spain.
Yeah, good run for Max. Coming from Spain, so he'll be coached closely by Kim and Nuria, both in the senior category and women's category. Incredibly accomplished paddlers. Kim being a former world champion. You can see that in Max's style. Coming in with a score of 360 points. That won't be an improvement on his first ride. Next up, we'll have Nanase, who is currently in he's going to be wanting to try and move himself up the rankings. The score to beat 1,260 points is no mean feat to beat. Having said that, the rides that Nanase has put down so far in this competition, I don't know, it might be possible.
Absolutely, I think it is. He's definitely a bit of a technician. He knows the rules. He holds his paddle up after some of his moves to show that he's done them clean. He's definitely got some of the biggest amplitude we've seen here, so we might be able to get some of those air and huge bonuses added to his score. So let's see what he's got here. His next ride drops in. Nice entry wing over. He sets up into a McNasty. There it is. Nice getting his paddle up in the air. Hoping to get that clean bonus on it as he goes for a massive loop. Oh my gosh, that was absolutely incredible. There he pops way up in the air. He goes for McNasty in the other direction. Getting it clean, maybe even a air, huge bonus on that. I think his whole body. Oh, an unfortunate flush for Navase.
He's going to be making his way back up into the feature as fast as he can.
And there he is back on the wave. This twin wave feature designed by John Best, as he's got just the time for one more. He looks up at the score. I don't know that it's enough to get up to his 996.67 from his first ride. He'll have one more ride to show us off. Great replay going on there, Alex.
Yeah, can we just see this loop? I mean, wow. That is incredible. Of course, we had the world's biggest loop competition here yesterday. I'm sure he could have probably beaten the highest score with the size of that loop. Score coming in now, 666 points. Unfortunately, not enough to increase his score from the first round, but it's okay. He's got one more chance to do so. Up next, we've got Tim Reece, your current leader. He's got a solid lead at the minute with a overall score of 1,386 points. He's going to want to try and increase that, though. He knows he needs some safety margin to make sure that he takes the junior champion, world champion position. Just waiting now for head judge Paul Shep to give him the thumbs up. It's a nerve-wracking place to be at this top eddy where you're waiting, but it looks like he's got the thumbs up. Now he's just preparing himself to drop into the hole.
All right, our current leader, Tim Reece, back on the feature, doing a nice entry wing over to a McNasty linked, and then he goes for a lunar orbit into some cartwheels, looking for those link bonuses, maybe going for a tricky woo. Oh, a bit of a flush. He still has 29 seconds left on the clock as he works his way into the eddy and back up to our twin wave, which is our competition feature here in Nottingham. All right, Tim Reece has 17 seconds left on the clock. He's going for a lunar. They're going for a phonics monkey. And he's going to flush. I know he's going to take a break, take a breather. He knows he's got one more ride left, and he's our current leader.
Yeah, interesting decision there from Tim, deciding not really to push at the very end of his ride, knowing that it's probably not going to be enough to beat his first ride score. So I think he took the decision to ease off a little bit, save some energy for that third and final ride where he's really got the opportunity to push that top score. Remember, these athletes are performing right at the very frontier of what is possible in a freestyle kayak. Up next, we've got Ben Higson. You can hear the cheers from the crowd. He's getting himself ready. He's got a score of 1,386 points that he needs to beat, only 120 more than his first ride score. That's, you know, a big loop. It's not much. These margins are so fine. It goes to show the level of competition that we have here this afternoon. And with that, the thumbs up from head judge Paul Shepherd has been given.
All right, nice wing over there for Ben Higson of Great Britain, right into a lunar orbit, into a back. Oh, unfortunately, a bit of a flush, but he's right there. He'll be back up with tons of time left. Let's see what he's got for us. Sets up, going for a huge McNasty. Going for a McNasty the other direction. All right, he needs to get some of those combos as he goes for a lunar loop, bringing it around nice and strong, getting that combo move or that linked move in there, into some cartwheels. He's got 7 seconds left on the clock. Time for one big move as he goes for a lunar into a back loop. Oh, lunar tricky. Oh. Lunar tricky woo. Just getting that just before the buzzer. Let's see what the judges have to say. That is not a score that is on the score, or a move that's on our score sheet, so it'll be scored as a trophy move.
Yeah, so we can see some of the replay now from Ben Higson God, look at this. The amount of power that he has in his paddling is really quite incredible. I remember seeing him as a junior, as kind of a 12, 13, 14-year-old kayaking down at the Cardiff White Watercourse, and you could just tell from that early age that he had something about him. In the last few years, he's really nurtured and developed that talent. Second ride score now coming in for Ben Higson, 866 points. Not enough to increase his score, so he will retain his first run score of 1,260 points. We'll be going back up to the top of the order with Matteo Williams for his third and final ride. We're expecting the crowd to get loud and cheer him on to what I'm sure will be a brilliant ride. You can see Mason Hargrove on the side cheering him on, previous junior world champion.
Yeah, he was our defending world champion from 2019 in Sort, Spain. But here we are in Nottingham, England. Matteo Williams of New Zealand. It's his feature as he drops in with an entry 2 wing over. All right, he's going to set up. He likes to do the McNasty and then do the second one right away, usually. And that's, he's got, yep, there's his routine going for the other McNasty. As he moves over, he's going to try and get set up on the surfer's right side. Drops in. Nice Space Godzilla to the right. All right. Oh, he's struggled getting things started again here. Oh, catching a bit of an edge. And a quick roll, going for a lunar. And backs up, so on the feature, he's got 7 seconds left. 3, 2, 1, he's going for a lunar. The other direction, going for a lunar loop, right at the buzzer. And flushing off the feature. Everybody's pretty happy, he's throwing it out there.
Yeah, really good ride. You can see him turning around to look at the score sheet. He's got a massive smile on his face, which is what we like to see. There we go, score coming in, 483 points. We won't increase his score on his first ride, but I mean, you can tell that he is loving his time here at the 2022 Freestyle World Kayak Championships. You see in the replay, just the control that he has in his moves is really quite special. Making sure that all of those kind of base tricks, intermediate tricks and advanced tricks are all scored within those tolerances for the judges. So up next we have bib number 116, Max Martinez Barrier from Spain. You can see the Spanish team on the side. Coach Kim Fontaine Masso, you can see in his Loughborough University jumper. Just on the side, he's a former world champion all the way back in 2017. He's been working with a lot of these junior athletes to prepare them for the World Championships.
All right, he's on the way with an entry wing over, looking for that entry 2 score on the scoreboard as he sets up for a McNasty. Really getting things going. He's got a big McNasty. He'd love to move up into a medal position. He's currently sitting in 4th place with 733.33 points as he goes for a phonics monkey. That'll sure help him get there. All right, as he sets back up, going for a nice loop, holding his paddle up, maybe trying to show that he did it clean to the judges. All right, he's going for a Space Godzilla to the right. As he resets up, definitely having a solid ride here. He wants to go for a lunar into cartwheels. He looks up, going for the lunar in the other way. He wants the lunar loop. Oh, unfortunately, flushing it out. Max Martinez Barrier of Spain definitely having a better ride than his other 2 here. Let's see what he's got as the judges tally up his score.
Yeah, so he's targeting the score for Nanase, 996 points. Unfortunately, not quite meeting it, getting a final score of 853 points, which will improve on his first run score. So solid performance there for Max. But that does now mean that we know our medalists. So our medalists will be Tim Reece, Ben Higson and Nanase, but the order is still not to be confirmed. So Nanase will be aiming for 1,260 points in his final ride to gain the silver medal position, or 1,386 for the gold medal slot. We've seen some of his previous rides and he's certainly capable of pushing the 2 leaders out of their top position. You can see he's excited, he's ready to go.
Absolutely, Nanase, the Japanese paddler here. having some of the biggest amplitude we've seen yet. Entry McNasty into maybe a cartwheel. Absolutely huge. Holding his paddle up, maybe looking for the clean bonus as well. The lap. And also holding his paddle up. He really wants to get these bonuses on his board, see if he can add them up. He's going to get his score going here as he goes for the McNasty the other way. Not really getting much amplitude on it. Having trouble getting it started here again. And there it is. Nice big Space Godzilla to the right. Going for the Space Godzilla again. Oh, catching a bit of a flush. He's got 6 seconds left. He looks up at the clock. He knows that's done. All right, that's it for the Japanese paddler, Nanase.
Can we just talk about that McNasty for a second? I don't think I've seen a McNasty that big in this entire competition, and the crowd is certainly appreciating that, giving him a big old cheer. Score of 540 points coming in for Nanase. Unfortunately, it won't increase his score any further. So we now know that our number one... God, look at that McNasty. Wow, so much amplitude. Up next, we've got Tim Reece. So he's currently sat in that number one spot, but he's going to want to improve on that score. He's not safe at... He's fighting for that number one slot of junior world champion.
So at this point, I think we can say that Nanase Akazaki of Japan has secured the bronze medal here at the World Championships. And right now we have a battle between gold and bronze.
Gold and silver,
sorry,
I believe.
Gold and silver, my bad. Thank you.
No worries.
Alex for correcting me there.
But with that, we have Tim Reece making his way into the hole.
All right, let's see what Tim's got for us in his third and final ride. Right into an entry wing over in, linked into a McNasty, going for a lunar, into cartwheels, linking it together, going into split wheel, into a tricky woo, backing it up. Oh, an unfortunate little bit of a flush there right on the bubble. He quickly pirouettes his boat around and is back up the eddy with 24 seconds left on the clock. Let's see what he's got for us here. He really wants to secure his current lead as he goes for a lunar loop. Moves when they link them together. And he's going for a back loop into the front loop. Back loop McNasty, I believe, is what that actually was. He's got... That's it for his time. Max having a solid ride, throwing down some of those combo moves that we would expect to see in a men's final. Absolutely amazing. Laying it all out on the line. He's currently in the lead, but the question is it enough to keep that lead?
I know, it's a nerve-wracking spot to be. He's sat in the eddy at the minute just waiting. We can see some of the replay, just the sheer potential that this young talent has in the sport. Score coming through 670 points, so he will retain that first ride score of 1,386. That's the score to beat for Ben Higson. He's got a tall challenge ahead of him, but if there's anybody who can do it, it's him.
Ben Higson of Great Britain is on deck. The crowd is absolutely massive here in our arena. He's waiting for the thumbs up from our head judge, Paul Shepard, with his team of 3 judges there. He has it. The timers are ready. The judges are ready. The paddler is ready. Here is our final ride in our junior men's category, right into an entry wingover, linked into a McNasty. Ben Higson knows he's really got to throw down, going to another McNasty, getting huge. Catching a quick little roll there as he sets back up for a lunar loop into a lunar tricky. Linking into another end. Wow. As he gets into a few cartwheel ends. Oh, trying to maybe split it up as he goes for a lunar. He's going to link that into a loop in the other direction. Going for a phonics monkey. He knows he's got to get lots of points. He got 12 seconds left. Lots of time as he goes for the lunar orbit. Going for another lunar. What's he want here? Lunar into a cartwheel to the right. Going for that tricky woo again. There it is. Into some cartwheels. And that'll be it for our final ride here in our men's junior kayak. That's Ben Higson of Great Britain. He is cheered it on, raising the roof here. The crowd's going nuts. That was amazing, Alex.
Yeah, I tell you what, being a judge right now, I feel quite, well, I feel quite sorry for the judges. They've got to try and work out what this is worth. It's currently looking around a score around the 1,300 point, which is right where he needs to be to knock Tim Reece off the top spot. It's going to be a nervous wait. It's going up. It's going up. We've got 40 points extra to be needed for Ben Higson to win the World Championships. We can see him in the feature telling them to increase the score. He wants that title, but it's just a waiting game now. Of course, our judges trained to not let this influence their decision making. All the best judges in the world looking. And that's it. You can see the score coming now through for Ben Higson at 1,343 points. That means that your new world champion is Tim Reece from Germany.
Wow, absolutely electric. Crowd goes wild. It does not get much closer than that here in a finals. Ben Higson's on the feature having a few more rides. As we see down there, we're going to get a little interview with our world champion, Tim Reece of Germany. All right, we're just waiting for John Best to get things ready to go there with a little interview with our junior world champion, Tim Reece.
I'm over here with Tim Reece from Germany, the new junior freestyle world champion. How's it feel, buddy?
It's feeling really good. I've been training about that like since I'm a small child, and I finally achieved my biggest goal, and it's feeling great. I'm really happy.
Oh, we're all stoked for you. Okay, let's hear you, freestyle junior world champion.
All right, now there's the smile of a champion. The crowd is cheering his name here. We're going to be moving downstream in just a few minutes for a medal ceremony for our junior men's and junior women's surface kayak. They'll be down there in just a minute. They're raising him up, carrying him around. I think that might be Kim Fontaine-Masso who's got him up on his shoulders there. Also a world champion from 2017 in Argentina. There's our scoreboard from our top 5 here in our junior men's final. Absolutely stacked heat. It was anybody's game to get a medal. And it's great to see the German Tim Reece on the top of that podium. We're going to take a few minutes break here as they get ready to set up the medal ceremony. Don't go anywhere. We've got tons of action left this afternoon. Medal ceremony in just a few minutes. And then we're going to be moving on to later on this evening. We've got our women's kayak coming up at 18:10 Nottingham time, followed by our men's kayak at 19:10, and there'll be a medal ceremony for those. And then we're moving on to our evening festivities here in Nottingham, England, as we close down this World Championships with our closing ceremony. So stay tuned. All of that action is still to come here. We'll be back with our medal ceremony in just a few moments.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we just saw the junior men's finals. What an exciting final that was. Germany holding down first place with just a huge run And then Ben Higson threatening right at the end, that score changing, settling on a score that is just, and it was just extraordinary. We were loving it here. The crowd was really hyped. And of course, Japan bringing in third spot. Beautiful amplitude on his moves. He can only get better. It's going to be great to watch Anase compete in further events all over the world. So this has been the junior men's. We are getting ready and set up for the medal ceremony for both junior men's and junior women's. We should see the junior women's first. They should be all ready for the medal ceremony here shortly. We'll bring to you some information. We'll listen to the anthems as they are played and wrap up the third of these finals today. We have seen the Masters finals. We've now seen the junior finals. And we'll move into the senior finals shortly. All right, again, ladies and gentlemen, stick around. We are getting ready for the medal ceremonies for the women's junior and men's junior kayaking competition here. All the fans are sort of getting settled downstream. The medals venue is not too far downstream here. We have to pick up stakes and move over and get all of the people in line, get the flag set up, pick out who the winners are, get the medals going. Takes a few minutes. We do want you to stick around for that, while we reward these athletes for all of the hard work they've put in over the many years. And as you're watching here, also just know that we are gearing up almost immediately on World Cup and World Championship standards to move to our next event in October. It will be very soon upon us on the World Cup that's going to come up in October of this year. We'll talk about that here in a little bit as the event goes on. And then at local time, 6:10 is our next major final here. It will be the women's kayak. 8:10 will be the start, where we will see the likes of Emily Jackson, Denise Leanne Rebnegger, Hitomi Takaku, Marlene Devillet, and Audie Robinson-Shaw. That would be paddlers from the U.S., Austria, Japan, France, and Great Britain. We have a final in this case where each country only has one representative here. It's really nice to see this in these events when all the nations are represented, or not necessarily all the nations, but where all spots are a different nation, spreading it around the world. And I'm getting noticed. We are just getting ready to put on the medal ceremony. I can hear the music now. Should see that here shortly. Yeah, and again, as I was saying, from the 3rd to the 9th of October in Columbus, Georgia, in the United States, we'll be holding an ICF Freestyle World Cups 1 and 2. This is going to be a unique one. Most World Cups that have had taken place have either been on a hole or a wave, and not both. They've not mixed these types of features. This time around, it's going to be a hole and a wave feature, one of each. So we'll be crowning basically the king of freestyle on king and queen of freestyle on who can do both hole and wave features. So we've got 3rd through the 5th of October will be World Cup 1. 7th through the 9th will be on World Cup number 2. So please check all the details on the ICF website as that comes up. A very abnormal year, of course, pandemic related, where we would have had the World Championships last year and a full year in between. Instead, we're just going to put a few months in between where we have this World Cup, and then we will roll into World Championships then the following year on the same feature in Columbus, Georgia. So definitely keep a watch out for that. We will, of course, live stream the event as well, but that's going to be a fun event if you are in the United States or if you're in Canada, to drive down, fly down, and come check out the Columbus World Cup in October. Alrighty, we're still waiting for the medal ceremony to kick up. And again, at local time, 6:10, we're going to kick off our women's finals. Following right after that, at 7:10, we'll be kicking off our men's finals. And for men's finals, we will see from Great Britain, Harry Price. From the United States, Dane Jackson. From Poland, Tomasz Czaplicki. From Great Britain, Rob Crow. And taking top honors with beautiful runs today, the powerful David McClure of Ireland. We've seen a lot of Irish paddlers. We've seen a lot of German paddlers. They represent the two teams of the highest number of paddlers, I believe 22. All right, it's going to be a few minutes away. As I was saying, Germany and Ireland, 22 paddlers each. Great Britain has something to the effect of 23 or 28, I'm not sure. They brought a lot of paddlers here, and it's showing. They are showing up in the finals. They are showing up in medals for both of these nations, as well as Great Britain. We expect to see Audie Robinson-Shaw. Everyone expects her to get gold here in the women's. We don't know. We can't tell. It's anyone's game. In the men's category, we have, of course, former world champion Dane Jackson sitting in the 4th place spot, but David McClure and Rob Crow, Ireland and Britain, coming in here and just producing amazing, amazing runs. They are throwing these boats out of the water.
Just the World Championships we've got taking place at Home Theatre. We've had a whole host of special events.
All right, we're going to come into medal ceremony now.
Last weekend. We've got rough waters sup, stand-up paddleboard on the wave. We'll see how long they stand up for.
All right, we got a little bit
We've
of a
got
delay
the
going
synchro
on here.
freestyle.
We're waiting
So
for one of the
two
junior men to
freestyle
get settled,
paddlers
and we will take it away.
trying to do their moves in synchro together. It's hard enough trying to do freestyle on your own, let alone synchronizing with your teammate. And the final festival event taking place today is the Down River Freestyle. As you can see, our gold medalist from Germany is that excited. He's running around the venue looking for his podium kit. So, slight delay to the medal ceremonies, but we'll be with you shortly.
What you are seeing right now, I want to point out to folks at home, that was Gemma. She is one of the main organizers here. She has brought this championships to a whole new level. It's one of those things where you come to a championships, and if it's running well, you don't notice anything. And you go up and talk to Gemma, and she's maybe not on the inside, but very calm outwardly. They have things so well under control here. It's been just a delight working with this. All of the volunteers, over 200 coming from, of course, all over the world, but a lot from the local community for this event, making it happen. It's been pretty amazing to watch this this event unfold, and we are bittersweetly, I would say, in the finals run. We have 2 more finals to go, then we'll roll right into the closing ceremonies, and of course the party afterward. It's always fun. If you can ever make it to the World Championships, please do come out, mingle with these athletes. It's a truly international spectacle. It's wonderful.
And Andrea Brollies. We're going to see if we can get some noise. So, have we got anyone here from our new men's junior kayak champion from Germany? Give us a shout out. There's a few tame, polite Germans in the crowd. Okay. Any US fans out there? Sorry, I didn't hear that, USA. Are you out there? Anyone from Team Ireland? Oh, no. Okay, and can we hear our British crowd that love to sing in the rain? Give us a shout if you're here from the UK. That's a pretty goosebumps moment, that one. Thank you. So throughout the week, we've had 21 different nations compete in the championships, 184 different athletes. All over the world, all 5 continents represented, all culminating in these finals.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is underway. Please stay tuned here for the medal ceremony.
All right, we can see the RAF cadets marching the flags into the
Ladies and gentlemen, the medal ceremony for the 2022 ICF Canoe Freestyle Championships will begin. Ladies and gentlemen, we present the medalists for the 2022 ICF Canoe Freestyle World Championships, Junior Women's Kayak. The medalists will be presented by ICF board member Terry Best, accompanied by the team leader of the National Federation of the USA. Our bronze medalist is McKinley Kate Hargrove of the USA. Our silver medalist is Neve Macken of Great Britain. Our gold medalist and ICF world champion, Abby Holcomb of the USA. Please rise for the national anthem of the United States of America. Ladies and gentlemen, please show your appreciation for the 2022 ICF World Champion and medalists. Congratulations to our medalists. Please stay around for the junior men's kayak ceremony, which will commence shortly.
All right, we just saw that medal ceremony. We are taking a look now. It is raining here, as is the habit of England, but the people are very excited.
Traditional British weather here for our medal ceremony, but that's not chasing the crowd away. You can see all the puppies in the crowd there. Lots of people hanging out to see our world champions being crowned and have the medals hung around their necks. Coming up next, we've got the medal ceremony for our junior men's category here at the ICF Canoe Freestyle World Championships 2022. Be coming up in just a few minutes. After that, the action is going to heat up once again on the wave.
I think I hear the entry music. Let's take it over.
Ladies and gentlemen, the medal ceremony of the 2022 ICF Canoe Freestyle World Championships begin. Ladies and gentlemen, we present the medalists of the 2022 ICF Canoe Freestyle World Championships Junior Men's Kayak. The medals will be presented by British Canoeing Chair Professor John Coyne, CBE, accompanied by the National Federation Team Leader of Germany. The bronze medalist is Nanase Okazaki of Japan. The silver medalist is Ben Higson of Great Britain. The gold medalist and world champion is Tim Reece of Germany. Please rise for the national anthem of Germany. Ladies and gentlemen, please show your appreciation for the 2022 ICF World Champion and medalists. Congratulations to our medalists. So, there's more freestyle action coming up with the men's and women's championship finals. We've got our festival events taking place, then a cavalcade